Hello everyone, Ecstatic here, and in this video we are going to see how Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order operates on the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. We are going to test the loading, image quality, frames, motion, lighting, and reflections. So let's get started with the video. The tech specs of the Series X blast the Series S out of the water, but how do they weigh in reality? We are doing a load test from a cold boot to see if there's any difference. Although I'm keeping the timer running, but this is actually not loading. This is just playing videos of brand logos, which is eating up the time. But since launching counts from the moment you press A to enter the game, I'm not changing it. By the way guys, these two monitors are your best picks for your new Xbox Series X if you want to play at the sweet spot of 1440p at 120Hz. The one on the left is Asus VG27AQ and the right one is LG 27GL850. They both offer 1440p at 120Hz, also with HDR. Yes, I'm aware that this game caps at 4K 60 frames per second, but if you want to check how they perform, follow the link in the description. Guys, do me a solid and hit the like button and consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. Almost there. They're extremely close, maybe a second apart at best. Now, Xbox has been bragging their quick resume feature. Let's put that to the test. Wow, that's impressive. From sign in to game took 12 seconds for the Series X and Series S was merely 4 seconds behind. Moving on, let's check the settings. With the Xbox Series X enhancement, we've got performance mode. Even though it says 1080p, EA actually posted that on the Series X, the game runs on 1440p at 60 frames per second. Unfortunately, on the Series S, there is no option to change these settings. Now let's compare the two consoles side by side. Wow, the differences here are major, and I haven't seen any big name YouTuber talk of this. I mean, look at the faces. The Series S is blurry with no details and stuck at 1080p. The reflection from the light, the details on his clothing, just massive differences in my opinion. Now let's see all three of them, including the Series X's performance mode. Now this is why it is called the sweet spot. 1440p at 60 frames per second. The details are there, better than the Series S, but a tad bit lower than the Series X 4K mode. Let's test the motion in Series X. Focus on the light bar and the sign. Notice how there are screen tears and choppiness when you move the camera around. On the other hand, on the performance mode for Series X, camera movements are fluid because now the game is running at 60 frames per second. Here's both of them side by side, slowed to 50% for better understanding. I am more interested in the character movements, so let's test them out as well. For me, during the cinematics, I prefer 4K, but games run smoother when played at 60 frames per second. Just look at them side by side, slowed at 50% again. Notice the legs have no motion trail on performance mode. That's how games should be played, in my opinion. The Series S passes the test for motion, as by default you're playing the game at 60 frames per second, locked to 1080p. Now for lighting and reflection. Of course, higher resolution on the Series X yields better details, shinier surfaces, and raindrop effects, but if you look closely, the Xbox Series S is not that much behind. Remember, this console is $200 cheaper than the Series X, but plays all the same games. The new-gen consoles are still on their infancy without much new-gen games that's available for testing. The Microsoft Velocity architecture is going to do wonders for future games to come, and we will start seeing the differences sooner than later. But in all honesty, the sooner devs start making games only for the next-gen consoles, we will be able to utilize our hardware to its full potential. If you like the content on gaming consoles and hardwares, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Well guys, that's all for this video. Ecstatic signing out. Peace.